What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Horror Show. I'm Cecil Laird.
I'm Cecil Slaughter.
I'm in Fuego here.
And we are here with another haul video. This one is from, Fuego, you got that paper there?
Of course, from Texas Frightmare 2019.
Yeah, so this is where we've been this whole weekend, and we grabbed a few things. It's not going to be as big a haul video as the Mad Monster Charlotte one was, which makes total sense considering we drove here and flew there. And yet we tried to bring back way more from Charlotte.
Which
but
is
anyway,
funny.
Yeah, that's what
We're trying to keep our spending under wraps here. And there was a few things that we tried to buy that either sold out or that we couldn't get to in time, so that factored in.
We can talk about those too after.
Everything is made in Texas, including the price tag out here. Holy crap!
Well, not the venue.
Yeah.
The venue was not bigger. The venue was quite cramped.
Well, yes, that's the only thing. Yeah, but holy man, yeah, spending the food and oh my god, yeah.
Wow. Well, we're gonna do a whole separate sort of wrap up video on the convention, so you guys will see that pretty soon too. But let's do the stuff that we got. So I'll start first here because I've got a couple of items.
Okay.
I don't want to show them too early, but
don't want to blow your load all at once.
yeah. So I got one comic. I got one horror comic while I was out, and it was actually one of the last things I purchased because I didn't see it. It's funny, like, I told them, they were, at one point today, they're like, well, let's just go and look on the floor. I don't know that I've actually looked, and stuff like that to see what's available. We're always so busy working and stuff, so I was like, I got upstairs after telling them, no, I'm too tired for that, and I was like, you know what, maybe there's something that I missed or whatever, and there wasn't much, but there was this. Any of you guys that know the show know that I'm a big creature fan and a big shark movie fan, and so I happened across a book called Shark Squatch.
When I saw that title, I was like, am I seeing that right?
And the funny thing is, there's another book that came out recently that was called Grizzly Shark, which was a grizzly bear and a shark mixed. That was fun, and it was super overly gory. It was from a creator that I actually knew, but this one is from Action Lab Comics, I believe. And the weird thing is, Handwritten Entertainment. He handed me an Action Lab card, though, I think. Or maybe I got the cards confused. Nonetheless, this is from Handwritten Entertainment, and it's issue number 1. And he's also got another book that was pretty interesting that I'm going to get a hold of once the colored version is available on his website. And that one, I don't remember what it was called, but the premise was interesting. It was about a group of people that are in a suicide group together that are like, they're trying to recover from thoughts about it, but they all essentially kind of give up and say, screw it. And so what they decide to do in order to do away with themselves is they go to a camp where there is a known slasher with the intention of being picked off one at a time.
That still makes me laugh.
It's
Like,
such a fun
I was like, well, if you're going to go out, go big.
Yeah,
like,
exactly. It's the same as the people that have those big elaborate sort of farewells. So Nonetheless, this looks like a lot of fun, and I didn't even really flip through it because the cover and ideas sold me alone. It does look like good, interior colors and stuff like that. And believe it or not, if any of you are Invincible readers, the book actually has a very similar sort of artistic style to Ryan Ottley. So it's very, very good stuff. I'm very excited about that. Susie,
go.
Fuego, why don't you go with one of yours first?
Which one?
Susie didn't go out this year, or this convention.
Or do you want to do all three of those together?
I'll probably do all three together. Okay. I'm actually going to show something that my buddy Monty Yazzie from the International Horror Sci-Fi Film Festival asked me to pick up for him. So this is a double vinyl actually that Mondo did, limited to 1 of 500, and it's for the original Evil Dead, but it's called The Evil Dead: A Nightmare Reimagined. So I'm assuming that this is like re-recordings of some of the tracks and stuff.
Remixes?
It says one of the most legendary horror scores ever recorded gets reinvented. For 2018, Joe LaDuca went back to the drawing board to fully re-record and expand his original score to The Evil Dead with absolutely terrifying results. The record you hold in your hands manages to keep the essence and familiarity of the original score, yet feels completely new and exciting due to the addition of all new music combining the classic and the contemporary. And the artwork is super, super sick. It's double vinyl, as I said, and it's double colored vinyl. So yeah, this was a Frightmare exclusive, and so I can kind of see why Monty was so adamant about having this picked up.
Now Jaime's jealous.
I know, it would have made me tempted had I read that, because I love listening to horror movie scores, and if the sound is as crisp as you guys say on vinyl.
On vinyl,
there's nothing like listening to vinyl.
Maybe I'll find it afterwards somehow.
Yeah.
Susie, do you want to do one of yours?
Okay. I don't know.
Or you want me to do another one of mine?
You can do another one.
Alright, I have.
Sure.
I have. No,
I don't have a lot.
No, go ahead, because the last couple
don't-
are show stuff. So you only have 2. I only have 1 more that was personal. So.
Okay, I'll do this one first.
Okay.
So, I was walking around the convention. I wanted to get a shirt so bad.
Yes, you did.
But I didn't know what ones to get. Now, if you guys know me, living in Arizona, it's so hot and I'm always having to wear like things to cover me. You guys see me on the show, I'm always wearing jackets and stuff like that. But it is so fucking hot. So I was I was trying to look at all these different shirts and then I passed by and I just see this hanging up and I was like,
She fell in love.
I absolutely fell in love because I'm like, why get a shirt that I'm going to wear so often when I can get this and wear it every day? So it's this awesome, it's a Killstar, Killstar like shawl type deal, and you can see as velvet designs, but it also has a star, pentagram, and then it also has the little sign of Satan,
So
you know,
much
which is
detail.
it's so pretty, it's so beautiful, and so I was in love when I saw it, and I grabbed the boys, and I was just like, "What do you think?" And they're like, Cecil's like, "It's okay."
I'm not the guy that asks for fashion. Like,
Yeah, so
but
and
anytime a girl has ever asked, I'm like, it's fine. Like,
yeah,
that's
no,
just-
it's terrible. So yeah, it just.
She's already worn it around. Let's put it.
Yeah, I'm already, and yeah, it just ties in the front. It's just very loosey goosey, very like summery. Something I can wear in the summertime, which is always so difficult again in Arizona because everything is it's so goddamn hot. So so I was very happy with this purchase. It was really funny because as soon as I picked it up, this girl, her boyfriend was standing right there, and he's like, "Oh, is that the one? Did she grab the one you wanted to get?" And then she goes, "You know, it's going to be 20% off on Killstar next week because of Mother's Day. Just saying, you don't have to listen to me. You could get this one now." And I'm just like, "Bitch, why don't you get it for 20% off next week? I want this now." So that's what happened. I was like, fuck it. I got it. I bought it. I was happy. I am still happy with it.
All right.
Nice.
You
want me to do right now?
Well, let's see. I've got, so I think Fuego, this, and the thing that we got from that guy would be show stuff that we could show at the end, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then, so I'll do my last one, and you can do yours, and Susie will do hers. So the other thing that I actually saw on the first day, and they had 3 of these on this particular table, and I looked at them all, and I picked the one that I thought looked the coolest, and I paid for it then, but I asked if I could pick it up later. And when I went to pick it up just the very next day, not only had they sold out of the others, but after I show you what it is, I'll tell you what they did to replace them, and it was not as impressive. So this is what we got, and I purposely got this Elm Street sign for the back of our set, so you will see it on the back wall. But if you look, it's very cool, very colored, and it's got blood, and they did the 4 Freddy slashes. And it was really, really awesome. So I'm guessing what they did was they came with these 3 pre-done, and then when they sold as quickly as they did, when I went back on Saturday, they had more of these, but it's just the stark green with the Elm Street on it. No weathering, no painting, no scratches, literally just an Elm Street sign. And I'm like, well, that's not nearly as cool as this, so I'm really glad I did. I didn't even I should have checked to see if they were still trying to sell them for $25. But yeah, I thought that was actually a pretty good deal. $25 for this for this set. So
my
It's
favorite.
my man's
He's he's on your shirt.
I know. If you didn't notice this, or recognize this from North Carolina.
Charlotte.
all right, Fuego, why don't you go next and we'll have Susie do the last one last.
So one of my absolute favorite purveyors of these super deluxe Blu-rays and stuff that we see floating around right now. They scoop up a lot of genre films, smaller forgotten gems, as Joe Bob talked about on his panel today. He was like, some of these aren't gems. Some of these didn't get distribution for a reason and are out of print for a reason. But so it's a British company called Aero Video, and they did not have the stuff, which was the one that I have been trying to track down at a decent price. But these typically retail for $30, sometimes $40 a piece, and they had a deal 3 for $50, so I was like, oh my god, this is where, as opposed to getting like 3 or 4 t-shirts for $50 or whatever, like I was originally going to get. So I picked up one of my favorite Terry Gilliam films, 12 Monkeys. I absolutely adore this movie. It was the film where I first realized, I was like, that's where I first realized that, Brad Pitt can actually act, and it's one of my favorite Bruce Willis films. It is a trippy something. Hey, time travel is all in vogue right now because of the Avengers, so hey, it's It's an awesome movie, and I'm so glad that I'm going to have this beautiful new transfer of it, stacked with all kinds of exclusive extras, and much is the same with this version of Donnie Darko, which also has a new transfer, new bonus materials, behind the scenes stuff, documentary.
Is this the director's cut, or does it have both?
It has both cuts.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's both cuts. So that is, if you're a fan of Darko, Richard Kelly's film, which I think is brilliant. In some ways, I don't like the director's cut because I feel like it just connects too many of the dots for you.
That's what I like.
As opposed to leaving things
I like
vague.
getting things.
But yeah, brand new 4K of the theatrical cut from the original camera negatives, and then just as Aero always does with their stuff, just bonus feature after bonus feature. But this is the one that is really truly near and dear to my heart. Brain Damage is my favorite Frank Henenlotter film. There are so many people who point to Frankenhooker, or they point to the Basket Case films. I personally prefer Basket Case 2. But Brain Damage is one of the strangest, most psychedelic 80s horror movies that I've ever seen. It's about this parasite named Elmer. And Elmer essentially is like a big worm that he kind of pins himself into you and starts like releasing like a toxin that is like an addictive drug. And so the movie starts out with these people that are addicted to his toxin, and they're fighting over him, and then he ends up like escaping as they're killing each other. Anyway, he ends up in this dude's apartment, and they form a symbiotic relationship, and yet the only thing is he has to help Elmer kill so that he can, it's like a weird blackmail exchange that they got going on, but it's darkly comedic, it's gross, it's got some nasty kills, and it's got some of my favorite just weird psychedelic dialogue from a horror movie. So there you go.
Susie?
Yeah.
Okay, so as Cecil was mentioning earlier, when we were doing our last round on the floor, I was not going to buy anything else at all, because again, I am very bitter about how expensive everything is, to me, at least, out here. But then we're walking by, and Cecil was like, why haven't you asked about that yet?
Yeah, because she actually brought it up. I don't think you thought I heard you, but you actually mentioned it when I was like looking around for filming and stuff. And you're like, oh, look at that. And I just filed it away, and then I saw it later. And I was like, she never brought this up again, so.
Oh, yeah. So, another thing for Arizona. It is
It was here at the convention, by the way. Not in makeup, unfortunately.
No, but still, I absolutely loved it. Again, it was today, last day. I asked the guy, he let me have it for $20. So
instead of 60.
Normally 60. Yeah.
So
She might have beat her little eyes at him a little bit, but
she had a phone number.
her little beady eyes.
and my little fists. So
yeah, it's a parasol.
it's a
right?
parasol.
it's
Yeah,
very cool.
so.
Can help shield you from the sun.
Help shield me from the sun,
Yes,
with
you
all
can
my
be like
stuff. So again, practical things for when I go back home.
Yeah.
So I'm not too upset about it. So.
All right, the next thing I'm going to do real quick is just show you guys our Coexist shirt. We've been adding and adding. I only got 2 new signatures this time because I didn't want to wait in Elvira's line, and she's going to be at Mad Monster in 2 months anyway, and probably Felissa Rose too, although that's not confirmed.
No, I love Felissa Rose.
So today I had 2 new signatures, and the first one, I'll try and get close so you guys can see.
We're going to run out of room soon, dude.
I know. So right here is Jonathan Breck, a.k.a. the Creeper from Jeepers Creepers. Would you quit coughing already?
Sorry, I compliment.
So the Creeper, and then the other one I got was right here. He kind of crossed over into someone else's signature, but the Reanimator himself, Jeffrey Combs, right there.
He was hilarious.
And he was really funny. He even made a "that's what she said" joke.
Yeah.
You'd think a 50-year-old dude or more would not need to make those jokes anymore.
Right,
but
because Cecil was holding the shirt super tight. He's like, yeah, we like it super tight. And then he goes, and that's what she said. I was like, dude, okay, Mr. Combs.
And so out of character for Herbert West, which is what he's most known for.
Yeah.
This like very stiff kind of.
That was great.
Well, what I loved him for, and I didn't even mention it, is his role in The Frighteners. I thought him as
I totally forgot.
the cop in The Frighteners tracking down Michael J. Fox was awesome. So, the next thing,
I almost forgot about this.
That is
How could I forget about this?
That would have been a bummer if we had.
This is kind of show stuff. So I'm walking around and I walk past this booth and I'm just like, I'm not too impressed with their shirts or any of the other things that they have. But Susie, of all people, points out to me, she's like,
wait. I think tell the other story about a cool painting you saw.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
Do you want to reveal this first? Do you think that telling that would?
Well,
would
actually,
ruin this?
no, that's some good insight. So I'm walking around and I go past this vendor and he's got just all of these beautiful different horror paintings and stuff like that.
Not to interrupt. Send me your Instagram pictures and I'll put them up over this.
Okay, nice. And so
Producing.
I will on the fly, on the air, live with you.
Go.
So I walk by this booth and I see that this guy happens to have a very nicely done portrait of Stephen King in his current years. He's in his early 70s
it was
now.
Really cool.
It was really beautifully done, and it was on
stark
on canvas.
white backgrounds, black and white, right? Was it charcoal? I think it was.
I think it was, if I remember correctly. Yeah. So
it
wasn't supremely colored or anything like that. But so Cecil and I have had this back and forth for a while, where he's like, "Hey, the Tower of Books is great, but you have that empty space on the other side of you, and I'll occasionally layer graphics there if it's necessary or something like that. But for the most part, it is an empty spot on the Hail to Stephen King set." And I was like, "Dude, how awesome would this painting be on that spot?" And you're like, "Yeah,
it would have been fantastic. It would have blended into his wall and everything.
That'd be great. Maybe someday." But I found a temporary solution, thanks to Susie, in this. Check it out. I hope you can really see. But yeah, it doesn't say Hail to Stephen King, but Hail to the King close enough. And so that is going to be framed, and that is going to go on the empty space. And who knows, maybe someday I can replace it.
Jaime was because again we were looking around for stuff, to film and everything, and Jaime he was in front of me.
I just blew right past him.
And he just blew right past it, and I just look, and I'm like, "Hey, Jaime, look at this." And they had little,
And then in turn, I was like, "Oh God, you guys have stickers too? Yeah, I'm gonna get a sticker and I'm gonna put it on my laptop." So there you go. So yeah, Hail to the King, baby. That's right. Very befitting for a convention that Bruce Campbell was at. And yes, so maybe someday I'll upgrade to a badass painting like the one I saw. But I think that's a very cool temporary kind of spot filler. So yeah.
So another thing that we got to do. I'll go ahead and do this one, and Fuego, you can talk about this one since you have a little bit more insight to it. But one of the things that we did was we interviewed a guy that did amazing fabrication work. He, what did he call himself? He called himself a welder or something.
Oh, the blacksmith of horror.
Yeah, the blacksmith of horror. So what he had was he had 3 sections of his table. The first section was an awesome table full of phantasm death balls, sentries, right?
I want to double check his name so that I know it was Max or Mark. I'm trying to remember. Nightmare Creations, maybe.
Yeah.
He just followed me, so I should.
Okay. But yeah, so it was phantasm balls. There were the sentries, like the normal sentries with the 2 things and the drill. There was the big golden boss ball that had things on the side as well. There was the spy ball. There was a little half mohawk blade on one ball. They had all these different kinds.
That was so impressive.
Super
really,
quality.
really awesome.
Super quality. Wasn't half-assed.
And the price showed.
Well, it was good. Yeah, as it should, because it was good quality stuff. It's not, you could tell, it's not half-assed, someone's in their basement, fucking putting this shit together.
The other thing that, the middle part of their table was a grip of different Freddy gloves. And when I mean different, that first day they literally had a Nightmare 1 glove, they had a Nightmare 4 glove, they had a Nightmare 3 glove, and then they had a couple of really awesome originals. First, they had a glove that Susie would probably wear at a fashion show because it was basically an S&M glove with spikes and chains, and it was a black leather glove.
Yeah.
But it had the knives and everything on it.
Yeah.
So all of this stuff,
every day.
you'll be able to see all this stuff in our interview with him. So I got B-roll of all of that.
Yeah, Nightmares Unlimited, Mark Phillips.
There you go.
Nightmares Unlimited, check it out.
So he also had what looked like a Freddy glove from medieval times because it was like chainmail. Except for, and the figures had the knives on it.
Oh, yeah. There's another one I saw that it was brown. It had chains and it had a pentacle, like the star, with
really?
The star in the middle and the circle. And it was it was cool, man. All his shit. It was very, very well done.
And then the thing that caught my eye, there was another one that was really cool that's kind of a blending of this part and the next part of his table, so I'll save that. But the biggest and coolest glove that he had that I was totally legit blown away by and very tempted, except for its $400 price tag, was the Freddy Power Glove from Nightmare 6. It was beautifully reproduced. It had the whole control panel here, obviously the knives and everything. It had functioning levers and all of the switches turned on the lights. and then the buttons down here would turn on lights too. The whole thing actually functioned as a electrical unit, and it was so awesome. I mean, it was the full thing. So I wanted that thing so bad, and maybe one day, maybe one day. But the other thing that he had, which led into the third section of his table, that is, he was all about Reanimator, which was appropriate because, as you saw, Jeffrey Combs was here. And basically he had a bunch of different syringes. He had big metal syringes from the movie. He had little syringes, also from the movie, at varying sizes. He had some mounted on little placards. He had one that was in a beautiful case that I saw a kid walking out with on the last day. So, it was signed by Jeffrey. It was signed by all the people from the reunion at this thing. Yeah. So that was a really cool piece. But the blending of the two was he had a Freddy glove
I was just gonna say,
that was Jeffrey Combs etched here, and all of the knives are green syringes.
Yeah,
instead of
just this, a play on the one from
a play
three.
On the one from 3, exactly.
Yeah. Oh, that
awesome.
one was awesome. I was like, that would go perfect with my Freddy shirt, the Dared shirt that I have.
The really cool thing is that after we interviewed him, I kind of just looked down at one, and if I wasn't out of money, I was gonna buy one, but I was like, oh, I really need one of those for the set. And he just without any prompting, he's just like, well, take one.
Just take it.
He's like, I appreciate. He's like, we don't mind paying for a bit of promotion in trade. So they hooked us up with one of these Reanimator syringes, and you will see this on the set going forward. So that is really cool.
Yeah, let me just tell you this.
I am going to take this off and see now. Yep, there's definitely a needle there. So we're going to keep that. Well, okay, no, it's not an actual needle. It's just a rod, but it still looks effective.
Okay, so that's legit, man. I just want to say about them. We were complaining about our drive. They drove 24 hours from New York.
We drove 15.
We were like, oh my god, we drove 15 hours. No, they the ones who made the gloves and the syringes, they drove 24 hours from New York to Texas with all their stuff.
And I guess that makes more sense to drive when you have so much stock like that and you're worried about stuff.
They were saying they could not get on the plane with all that stuff. Yeah. Are you kidding me? Those Freddy knives, it's real metal, everything. Yeah, so appreciate that. They were really dedicated. So the price tags were.
Yeah. Have Susie.
So one of my favorite moments of the entire convention was the fact that I got to do an interview with writer, producer, director Chad Archibald from Black Fawn Films, and
whom we actually just put up our review this past Monday of his most recent film, I'll Take Your Dead.
Yeah, which is
fantastic movie.
So good, one of my favorites of the year. It's available now on VOD and it's in select theaters. But last year, his previous film, entitled The Heretics, is one that Cecil can attest to I haven't shut up about since I watched it. It's about this woman who gets kidnapped by a cult. She is able to escape somehow, and then it's the ghosts that stay with her, and she ends up kind of back in their clutches once again. And it's got some great performances, great practical. Chad was telling me in the interview that the cabin where the predominance of the film takes place, they actually built that cabin themselves. And it's just still out there in the middle of nowhere, unoccupied, with all its satanic signs and symbols all throughout the entire place.
If that's what it looks like. Some crazy person found it.
He said he's literally out in the middle of nowhere. But yes, that is his previous film, and it's so different from I'll Take Your Dead, just like it's so different from Bite. I'm very, very excited to get some reactions from the rest of the crew about this one, because I reviewed it myself at the. Oh boy, I'm trying to remember if it was IHSFF or if it was the fall showcase, but nonetheless.
Can't remember either way. Either way, it might be worth a second look review if Susie and I watch it.
I agree.
Indeed. So.
But it was an honor to meet those guys. We ended up partying, hanging out with them. And, it was cool. It was
cool. Indeed, which brings us to the last thing, which I thought Susie could talk about. Which is a picture that we got. That's a pretty awesome freaking picture.
It's we walk in. They have the party. And we all just walk in, and then there's this Evil Dead
photo booth.
Dude, we all just walk in, strike a pose, and look how awesome this turned out.
We didn't even
look how freaking
up on
cool.
social media yet. Yeah. We need to throw it on there.
Look how awesome.
It just ended up coming out so good. It was us, Chad and Benner from Fuego was just saying, the people that we interviewed, and then of course Jay and Trav from Blood Bath and Beyond.
Yeah.
So
who were both great as well.
They were
ended up
awesome,
hanging out
man.
with them the entire
Travis
time.
Not in this photo.
They were so cool.
Travis not pictured in this.
Why not?
I don't know.
He wasn't with us.
Oh. Oh, that's right. Okay, that's right.
But we had a lot of fun.
We had a lot of fun with
Trav
Trav and Jay, so
yeah, they were great.
It was funny because like after we got the picture done, we were walking away, and the girl, she's like, "Oh, here," and like they had them printing like immediately, and so I was like, "Oh, damn!" And I was the only one with the bag, so I guess you got to hold it.
That's true.
Jay's always too cool for school in his pictures. It's too funny.
Know it was funny because when I showed him, he's like, "Dude, that's a good picture."
We all came up with really
yeah.
good in that.
Yeah,
keep it straight.
But yeah, it was.
It was just it was an awesome weekend. It was an awesome night that night. But yeah, this whole thing, obviously, we had some cool things that we picked up. Again, not quite as much as the other haul video, but it was just a lot of fun. So thank you guys very much for watching. Let us know in the comments down below which item you would like the most out of all of those things. I'd be very curious. Well, I think a lot of people might say that Evil Dead vinyl. Yeah, to be honest with you.
It's definitely my shelf.
Okay. You keep telling yourself that. Anyway, so thank you guys very much for watching. If you like the video, click that like button and ding that bell if you want to make sure you get notifications going forward. And subscribe if you enjoyed this and haven't subscribed yet. So until next time, I've been Cecil Laird.
I'm Cecil.
And remember,
stay scared.